let's jump into the seller expense section of section 5 of the contract for sale and purchase, lines 52 through 63 specifically. This first part here, lines 53 through 59, this is where you would ask for closing cost concessions from the seller on behalf of the buyer. So if your buyer needs some closing cost help, which is pretty common, this is where we put it. So as an example, this buyer is going to ask for $5,000 in closing cost help from the seller. Now, that's right, check this box. I put 5,000 here, and then these four boxes fall underneath that. So 56, I don't check this box because I'm a conventional loan, but I would otherwise on FHA or VA. I'm going to check prepaids, I'm going to check discount points, and I'm going to check line 59. What that says is I can apply the $5,000 to any of these things. And line 59 is important because it means everything up here. So that's important to check. So I'm getting $5,000 in closing cost help with my conventional loan. This is how it's going to look. Brokerage fee, line 61. Yep, that's a seller expense. Remember, the brokerage fee is how the realtors get paid. When the house closes, the seller pays the listing agent a commission, and that listing agent pays part of what they make with you, the buyer's agent, and their brokerage. All right, doc stamps on the deed. That is a seller expense. You should have learned how to calculate that in your training course. But and you're going to need to be able to do that for your sellers when you get an offer as a listing agent, because that's going to be a big expense for them at closing as their doc stamps. But that is a seller expense. As I said before, this house is in Piney-Z, 1080 Landings Loop that we're making an offer on. We know it has an HOA, so we checked HOA enhancement for the buyer. That means we're going to check estoppel and transfer fee for the seller. That is a typical seller expense. On to the next section, home warranty not to exceed blank. Well, we didn't put anything about a home warranty as a buyer expense because we're going to ask the seller to give us a credit to purchase our own home warranty. That's where we do that. And we try to negotiate that for the majority of our offers. Historically, we're above 90% year over year with the amount of contracts where we're able to get the seller to pay for that. All right, so this is where we would put that credit. We put home warranty not to exceed $550. That'll get you a good home warranty. Maybe not all of one, but they're typically between $500 and $650. So that's a good chunk of it. Mortgage satisfaction and recording fees. Yes, the seller is responsible for their own mortgage satisfaction and recording fees. Now you got mortgage title insurance and owner's title insurance here. And you can see the same as what is above. Well, since we're having the buyer pay for that, and that's customary for this area, we're going to leave those blank. But understand, people coming from other states and other parts of Florida even, this is typically a seller expense where those boxes will be checked. All right, but in this case, not so much. All right. If you have, by the way, if you have the check on both, what that implies is that they're splitting it. That's just a little thing to know. All right, seller's attorney fees, yes, that is a seller expense. And then survey, well, the buyer's paying for the survey, and that's pretty normal for our area, so we're going to leave that blank. And then if you had any other additional items or expenses that weren't covered in the contract already, you could potentially put them here. But I can tell you, I put additional expenses on the seller side 0 times in about 1,500 offers, so you're probably not going to be doing it very often. All right, now finally, this section's line 64 through 67. Don't leave this blank. All right, and don't forget to fill it out. You want to be a control freak, okay? So we're always going to do everything if we're the buyer. We want to control everything. All right, so title and closing agent, we already put on page 1, Manassa Shaw Manassi. That's where we're going to be closing, so their name goes here. Survey, Halima, the transaction coordinator, she's going to order your survey, but we don't know who we're going to order it from yet, so we're going to put TBD there. And then the home warranty, even though the seller is paying for it, they're giving us that credit. Our transaction coordinator is going to go ahead and get that home warranty ordered and order one at the buyer's choosing. Okay, so the seller pays, but we are going to order it. That's really important. All right, but we're going to put TBD there because we're not sure who we're going to order it from yet. And that concludes section 5 of the contract for sale and purchase, seller expenses.